24 hours to go for the union budget, the vote on account that Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will be presenting. But before that, we asked and you came in droves to tell us what your suggestions or what your expectations from the budget is via the CNBC-TV18 budget ballot box. Mind you, we're going through all of those responses, each of the responses that came in from every city. There are droves and droves of these response papers, Sonal.
Oh yes, and you know, this is something which is so, this is a thing that we did not expect, that they will come out and they will have so many expectations, but it is so good to see all of them participating. In fact, you and I went around, we spoke to people, we went to cinemas, some of our colleagues went to colleges, and all of us saw such great response. So definitely the people who are going to college, people who are actually going for jobs, those who are businessmen, all of them have a lot of expectations and all of them have been penned down by them, and here it is. This, I would say, is half of what we really got.
You know, less than 10% of what we've gotten. And this is only from Mumbai and some of the other parts, some of the metros, but all over the country where we've put these ballot boxes. Not only are these
this one is full, yeah.
We have a bunch of these responses that have come as well. But importantly, you know, now you guys have gone ahead and told us what your suggestions are. It's our duty to take all of these to the Finance Minister. Our team is compiling each of these responses and we will prepare a report to be sent to the Finance Ministry as well. While this budget is a vote on account, mind you, the one in July will of course be a full-fledged budget, and hopefully some of your responses will be taken note of in that budget itself. But you know, while we were going through some of these responses, let's also look out for what people are actually asking for.
And you know, while Mangalam is going to take a pick one by one randomly, I have collated some of them, and that is what we are going to read out, because this is the hopes of a billion of people and some of them are spoken of by majority of you, right? So let's get started, because tax, that continues to be the big...
Before you read any of these, I have to ask you, what were your expectations from the budget, or what did you write in the paper before you put it inside this?
Okay, I will actually say that at the last, because at the end, because you know what has happened, there's so many which I have resonated with. So as we go along this live and we talk about what you have asked from the Finance Minister, we'll also talk about whether we agree or whether we want that as well, right?
All right, let's do it. Go first.
Okay, so the first one is from Miss Nisha Desai. She has three wishes that she has put down. The first one is something that I think all of us would like, Mangalam. This is something which is about
salary or limit for taxes. Is that the one?
It is the increase in ATC limit. They want to increase it from the current exemption limit, which is 1.5 lakh rupees. ATC is basically where you can use and you can make some investments, be it in your life insurance policy, be it in equity linked savings scheme, be it in some of the other things like the national pension scheme, and you get a particular deduction from that, which is capped at 1.5 lakh rupees. So that is something that you can deduct from your taxable income, and they do not want it to be at 1.5 lakh rupees, because according to most of the people it is very low, and they want it to be increased to around 3 lakh rupees, as high as 3 lakh.
Time when you know the government is actually looking at some point in the future, looking at reducing all these
they are looking at new tax regime, but
tax
yes.
regime itself. But okay, I'll read this one. This one's very interesting. It you know, it's come from a person who chose to be anonymous, and they've said it in as many words in all block letters. Government should abolish professional tax.
Yeah.
As such, everyone has a right to earn and maintain their family life. Well, professional tax should be abolished. That's the big ask, you know, professional tax should be abolished. How much is professional tax?
You know, be it a person earning as much as 1 lakh a month or 10,000 a month, everyone has to pay equal amount of professional tax. For some, it is around 200 rupees a month that they pay out. So, you know, on an annual basis, you pay out around 2,400 rupees as professional tax, which people are like, it should not be a part of your salary. It should not be deducted from your salary, so to say, because you already pay taxes. So this is something that I've heard from a lot of people.
I agree with you. And even though, you know, the amount as compared to all the other taxes that one pays would appear small at around 200-250 rupees per month, but professional tax, one understands, one needs to understand what exactly is the rationale behind holding on to this professional tax at a time when everyone is looking to create more professions itself. So this one goes down in the ballot box as well. What we'll do is
we'll talk about the next one, and this is something that is something which is coming from someone's heart totally, because they are like, you should do something about the prices of Xbox 360, PS5 and gaming controllers. They are like, you can do it by increasing the manufacturing of these products in the country. Let me tell you, I am with the person. I love video games, I love PS5, I love Xbox. So if they think that via the manufacturing in India, this can be reduced the prices, I am all for it.
You know what will be the most fun? If the finance minister actually reads this out at some point. Ever, you know, takes note of this. People literally want specific things, you know. Reduce
It's
the
a
prices
democracy.
of games. It is a democracy, and we're not begrudging the person here, but the person has a very specific want.
And it also supports the Make in India concept by
Make in
the
India,
government,
PLI,
right?
at the same time, the gaming industry, which everyone is asking for some sort of softs for the gaming industry as well. So yes, okay, Xbox, PS5 and all
Totally
those
with
gaming
you.
consoles, prices should go down. Why just that? You know, increase it to all the electronics, etc. The prices of everything should go down, and that's what people want. But gaming is not just the only thing. Some people have asked for specific rail-related things as well, and these are not rail infrastructure, etc. They're asking for direct fast trains linked to all capitals of states. They want better electricity management. They want GST relax and tax rate decrease. The person chooses to be anonymous, but GST, we'll have to do something with the GST Council. Tax rate decrease, I am with you, Sonal's with you. I think every professional and every person who earns and is in the tax net is with you. Direct fast trains linked to all capital states. That's pretty interesting. I'm sure there would be a lot of states which are linked to all the other state capitals as well via trains, but direct fast trains, we'll have to work out the modalities of that out, and better electricity management. I think we can do with that.
And you know, railways has been the focus of the government for the last 9 years. We've seen that in the way railway infrastructure has improved, the way new trains have come by, be it Vande Bharat, be it Rapidex for the regional transportation, be it new Rajdhanis. So there's a lot that has happened, and people wanted to continue because railway budget is something that that is now presented along with the union budget, and that is something that they want a lot of improvement in. You know, I'll take that railway point forward because somebody has written about more focus to expand freight train network, because the current speed of the freight network is around 25 km per hour in India, which is at 45 km per hour in China. So they want the infrastructure to be increased and at the same time the speed to be increased as well, and that is very thoughtful because at the end of the day it's the supply chain which is the backbone of everything, every business in the country.
Wait till 2025, the dedicated freight corridor, perhaps that increases as well. But this one's the most interesting one. It's just one, 3 words. It says, need 100% hike. Be careful of what you ask for, because you haven't specified what do you need 100% hike in. Do you need 100% hike in your salary? For that, you'll have to write to the employer, perhaps not the finance minister. But if you write 100% hike to the finance minister, what if she hikes the taxes by 100%? Be careful what you ask for.
Happen because,
no, obviously
interestingly,
this is very
I was
cool.
having a conversation at PVR Palladium, and one of the gentlemen came to me and he's like, he became a chartered accountant back in 1978, and at his time he's seen tax rates as high as 80%. So now that we have come down substantially, more than half of it, he's like, I do not want to go back to those rates. Those were times that we cannot think of again. So I hope that is not what it is taken as.
That is not going to be the case. Obviously, we're just on a lighter note. But 100% hike in salary is okay. If you can't cut the taxes, increase your salaries. What do you have?
I have a lot of them actually. The other focus, today we were talking about what Prime Minister Modi said in his speech as well. He said it is going to be a Disha Nirdeshak budget.
Okay.
What it means is it is going to be very directional in nature. It's going to tell us what the final budget in the month of July would look like. So maybe not big bang announcements, but this could give us a direction of what we can expect from July, in the July budget. And some of the things which they focused on was women empowerment. So some schemes around that could be expected, and that is something we'll be watching out for tomorrow. The other thing that has been a unanimous wish is something that should happen in education segment. They've spoken about increasing the deduction on education loans or getting more deduction on interest on education loans or some subvention there. The second thing is that they are asking for better infrastructure when it comes to education, be it government colleges, be it the likes of the engineering colleges. Most of them from the student side. We spoke to a lot of students as well, and we heard you, and that is something that we've taken to the finance minister as well. There has to be more expenditure on the education system, on the education department, and that is something that I've seen in 5 of these ballot papers. So of course there's a lot more which is inside.
Well, you spoke about the budget being telling you of the direction in which the government intends to go, and one of them, of course, has been the Nari Shakti. We saw that at the Republic Day parade. We saw that at a lot of the schemes that were announced. The Women's Reservation Bill, which is one of the bills which is laid down in this budget session itself. And befittingly, one of the persons has written they want sports equality for females.
Yeah.
Now, while this may not be a direct budget-related ask, but this is definitely a very valid ask. By sports equality, it could be equality of opportunity, but at the same time, equality of payments too. The BCCI went ahead and did that. They equaled the payments of or match fees of both the women cricketers as well as the men cricketers, which was one of the big, precedents that they set in the world of sports, and pay parity. Why not increase that to all the other sects of society as well, where there could be pay parity for all professions? And I was reading a note which came from our sister concern Money Control itself, which told for the movie like Fighter, around which we went to PVR, Hrithik Roshan was paid 85 crores, whereas Deepika Padukone was paid just 20 crores.
Wow.
So these are big numbers that we're talking about, but Deepika Padukone may not be as any less popular than Hrithik Roshan for her to get nearly one-fifth the fee. So this pay parity should be equalized, and that's a very fair ask, I presume.
And to continue to that, there is one wish which says we need more skilled workers from the women segment, and they are talking about how women should be contributing more to skilled employment, right? And you spoke about stats. There was one stat which was published, and it said that only 37% of women workforce is there in the skilled labor side. So that's a small number, just 37%. What does that really mean? So as indicated during Republic Day speech today, what the President said, there could be some more welfare schemes, and we did see some of it in the last budget as well. Mahila Samman certificate, where they could invest some of their money at higher interest rate. So there could be a lot that would come by. There was one for girl child as well, which is Sukanya Samriddhi scheme, where you can invest till she turns 18 years old. So that will be at a higher interest rate. So there could be more which we can expect. And your point is well taken. There needs to be pay parity, and we need more skilled women in the workforce as well.
All right, so let's wrap it up with the last few ones. This one is talking about the two big themes that everyone is looking at. One is electrification of all vehicles, so encourage the use and production of electric vehicles. Yes, the FAME 3 scheme has been announced as well. Maybe some more SOPs being announced in the budget this time around. The second one is expect the PM Mudra Yojana to digitize encourage digitization of finances, especially in the Kirana stores itself. There are almost 8 to 9 million Kirana stores in the country. Digitization has been a big thrust on which the government has gone, especially the UPI, etc. The Prime Minister does not shy away from flaunting the UPI in front of every state head that visits our country, and it's been one of the biggest successes of this government. So digitization of the financial world is something that there could be a big directional push towards. At the same time, electric vehicles. So those are a bunch of things that we've gotten it. So if you had to classify them in broad 4 or 5 sects, what would they be?
The first one would of course be, there has to be something of personal income tax. Everyone's looking forward to that. It is something that they speak about every year, but they are talking about higher deductions that they want available under ATC, or some more SOPs to make new tax regime more accessible and more attractive. That is one for sure on the personal income tax side. The second one, of course, as we spoke about on the education side, they need, people are asking for more facilities, people are asking for better loans, people are asking for cheaper loans when it comes to education.
Well, I would be looking at, government leaving some more more money in the hands of our rural folk, because from the consumer standpoint, the last 6-7 quarters have been extremely poor when it comes to rural recovery. Monsoons notwithstanding, there was a fair amount of inflation, and remember, this is a budget which goes right into the election before the budget.
Yeah.
So this is the government's chance to perhaps leave some more money in the hands of common folk to encourage consumption, and those are a bunch of things that I'll be watching out for, along with, of course, increasing jobs and upskilling people.
Upskilling, definitely, and startup is something that people are looking at as well. Some sort of funding a mechanism that should be put in place so that more startups are, encouraged to come out with better ideas, and MSMEs as well. The funding or the financing should be better for them. So we'll wrap on that note with the last wish that we've got, that alcohol must be banned. Okay, all right.
Well, there go all the investors of United Spirits and United Breweries, and I don't think they will. Exactly.
Alcohol, so nevertheless,
we're not done with what you had written on the ballot paper.
I think I agree with everything. Whichever is good for everyone is good for us. So on that note, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for writing in our budget ballot box and telling us what you wish from this budget, if not this, the final one that is in July. And we will be handing it over to the Finance Minister, your wishes and your dreams, all of them to the Ministry.
Thank you for tuning in.